Okay. So from the graphic that I made, I thought it was cute to say how to give yourself a raise. I like it when I'm a little bit funny, right? No, actually, I got it from our book. Guys, I'm really impressed with our book. I mean, we could go through this step by step on our team calls, and just, they've done a really good job. So when you get the chance to buy it, if you don't have it, it's definitely worth it. Okay, so we've heard the right place, the right time. We hear that a lot, but in Plexus, we're also hearing the right company. And so what does that mean for us? We know we have amazing consumable products, and that creates a consistent need. So it's not something like makeup where you buy something here and there. So it's a consistent need of a consumable product, and we do get paid generously for sharing, and even for consuming our own products. So we also know that Plexus is a young company and still at the ground level. For those that don't know, they say ground levels anything under 500, and so we are still there with just approximately 300,000 ambassadors. And we also know many people are needing extra income and wanting to work from home in this, you know, whether you think it's a good or a bad economy, who doesn't want extra money and who doesn't want to stay at home if they can with their kids? And then you also just think about the health crisis that we're in. So our company it's definitely the right place, the right time, and the right company. And we also know that Plexus is a multi-level marketing company. So I know I used to be a little scared of multi-level marketing, you know, the years of Amway and stuff like that, you know, but it's, I think more and more people are seeing the benefits of it. I know I am. I'm new to it. It's my first multi-level marketing, and I'm just so impressed with Plexus, how they're doing it. So multi-level marketing, network marketing, relationship marketing, whatever you want to call it, it allows you to build your business your way, the way it fits your life. You don't have to have something like a college degree, and you don't have a risky investment, and you also don't have to have a storefront. So what it comes down to, though, is you. So that's where there's the pros and cons, but it comes down to being on your shoulders. So you have to create it for yourself, of course, and that's why network marketing affectionately is called personal growth with an income. So if you want it bad enough, then of course you have to take action. And some of the things that we feel like we're hearing from our upline, or other successful people, that the Power of Three, which is in our success kit, it just works. So last meeting, we kind of touched on this about the Power of Three, and a visual that they had at Super Saturday where one person was called out and said, "You're a new ambassador, go tag 3 people." And those 3 people in turn tagged 3 people. So it kept going until our crowd of 1,800 people in the Dallas room was done. And they said, "Congratulations, you're diamond." So it was just a great visual to hear, and just exciting that is how it happens. And so that pressure of thinking you could never make it with this opportunity, if you look at it in those steps of 3, it's just something that's more manageable. It's a simple approach to team growth, and you know, everyone knows 3 people. So when you work with those 3, the goal here is, once you add those 3, is you work with them to help them to add customers and to add 3 of their own. And then, you know, if you've trained them well, they're going to turn around and train their 3 the same. So again, the keys with Plexus is building the relationships and duplication. So on the relationship part, That, of course, is specific to each individual person. We have different networks, of course, but the Frank's method, which is in the book, in the Success Kit, but you know, if you want to know what that is, don't know what it is, don't know where to find it, just reach out to your upline. That method basically is a way of identifying people that you know that you don't realize you know that many people. So there are just engaging with these people and truly listening. That's how you're going to be successful with Plexus, is because you're listening and you're building these relationships and they're trusting you. So you're going to have numerous opportunities if your goal is to, through those relationships, build your business. It's not using people, you're just simply that you have something awesome to offer them. And let's say someone is not interested and you get a no. That's okay. Don't take it personal. Ask for referrals. Say, okay, you may not be ready to try it. But you know someone that does. You know someone that has blood sugar issues. So always ask for referrals. That is something I'm trying to do more of now. I'm going back to people that have just ignored me in messages or something like that and asking for referrals, saying, I know you may not be ready, but do you know anyone with blah, 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 blah. So how does that power of 3 translate into giving yourself a raise? And I'm going to show this graphic by Sheila Medina. Was she the first diamond?
I think so.
Okay, so hopefully you can see that. This is just an example of how you can see that power of 3 turning into pay points for you. So we get paid pay points by number of ambassadors, active ambassadors in that month. So if you look at this, you can see how your 3 and then them going out and finding 3, it's just a, I should have probably showed the tier thing first, but my mistake. Basically, if you can just think of a diagram of 3s, you know, like a tree, like a family tree type situation. So that's really what you're doing here. And then this is putting it into terms of numbers and points. So let's say your team kept growing and multiplying and everyone was adding 3, you're going to end up with an amazing amount of points. And just here in this example, let's say as your team grows, you're getting paid on 7 levels. And it shows the points per ambassador here of how many they get, and then your accumulated points per level. So let's say at the end of this little graph here, you have that 4,893 points. In this example, that is worth, if the pay points was $3, $14,000. That's $14,679, and that's just from pay points alone. That's not on your percentage commission. So you can see how the goal of growing your team, yes, you want some customers, but if you're looking at long-term residual income, this is the way to think of your business growth, is, excuse me, adding those wholesale customers or people that are wanting to work the business. So, so that's really on the relationship and power of 3, how relationships and power of 3 work into growing your business and turning that into some income for you to pay for your products and hopefully create some residual income. Then we move on to duplication. And how do you do that? You're going to, if you haven't already, find that we have some remarkable online resources. And some of those, because we do share pretty much everything with Plexus, don't we? But ask yourself, are you willing to be committed to be connected on, connected on a consistent basis? So some of those ways you can stay connected are team pages. I try to do as much as I can on my team page to keep you, regarding personal growth, regarding hearing from other people that are successful. and, try to keep it fun. So try to stay connected on those team pages. Plexus Journeys for testimonies, YouTube subscriptions, Plexus U, Rock the Pink Live, Melissa Eichenhorst, Sonia Dudley, Sarah Marble, just to name a few. We have so many. And then there is Plexus Power Tools. That's $10 a year. Yeah, just a year. And PC Christopher is the one. He's out of Dallas. He actually goes to my church, but he does a phenomenal job of keeping everything compliant. All the resources are there. He sends out emails when there's updates. So I use it. Mine just expired and I need to renew.
Me too.
Then there's the plexuslearningcenter.com, and that is done by Plexus Worldwide. And then, of course, your back office, you'll find lots of resources. And always, always, always communicate with your upline, your sponsor. If they're working this, like those of us here, obviously, we want something. We want some momentum, right? So reach out to those people that are, that are trying to work it. Just reach out, because most likely they're wanting to help you. So make them happy, make their day right for you to reach out. And then also always friend other Plexus ambassadors, follow the ones that are successful, or ones that you just enjoy following, you like their style, and try to make posts your own. Don't just share. It's okay to share every once in a while, but still try to say something personal when you do share something, because people want to see that they're not wanting to see what Vonda shared that day. They want to know, what did you see that day? What did you think about that? How did that, what did you think of that person's testimony? How did it blow you away? Whatever. Point something out that you can and make it personal. Make a personal comment. For my team, always look at the pinned post. It's pretty close to being done, but it's under construction. But I try to have some really quick where okay, where was that? What was that person's name that is so good at explaining daily method of operation. Those are the type of things I try to keep on my go-to resources, pinned posts. And that just simply means the one that's the very first. You may have to click on it depending on what device you're on, and it is there. So hopefully that helps on relationships and how to view how am I going to move forward with the relationships I have, or rekindling old relationships and finding new relationships. So Kim, you want to go next?
I will. Thank you. I'm going to kind of tag right on to what Vonda was saying, and I will say the same thing, that our new kit is amazing. There's so much, and when we hear, like Vonda was talking about duplication and the power of 3, those are such, power of 3 for me, that number is manageable. I don't want to choke on it. I can take that, do that, and then move on to the next 3. And there's such power in that. So thanks for sharing that, Vonda. And then I know for myself, I just recently started working this full time. I left my corporate job, and I have to be honest, it's not full time. And I think that's important for people to realize too, because you truly can have success just by working it into the cracks of your business. And so in our Super Saturday, they talked about doing this business in little 15-minute increments, maybe 3 times a day. You do 15 minutes. And if you're very dedicated and you're doing what is called IPA, which is income producing activity, those 15 minutes are well spent. And so in our guide, starting on page 65, which I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is one of the guides, one of the pages and sections in the guide, and it's how to have a perfect 10 week. And they break it out in very simple pieces. It's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1 equals 10. And for myself, that makes it very easy to know, okay, I can do this. Anybody can do something for 3. So that how to have a perfect 10 week, and you can do a day or you can do a week. The most important thing is that you can work Plexus part-time, but you can't do it sometimes. So you have to be consistent in whatever you're choosing to do. And if you do that, you'll get some momentum, which is what we're talking about, and make some real traction. So for the Perfect 10 week, it talks about you want to share the products with 3 people. And you can do that by sharing a personal testimony with somebody that you might have seen their post that they're complaining about migraines, or they're not sleeping, or something like that. And take a testimony and send it to them specifically with some of the products, and just say, I was thinking about you personally, and I saw this, and I wanted to share with you. So if you do that 3 times a day or a week, there you've already shared your products. And then you want to share the Plexus opportunity with 3 people. A lot of this comes right from the ambassadors, from the customers that you already have. They're taking the products and you're dripping on them throughout that time about the opportunity. And so it's always great to reach out and offer the opportunity to them for your best customers, because they already love the products and they may not think about it as a business opportunity. I've heard many people say they had no idea that they could make money doing this. And so it's important to follow back up with them and remind them that there is a business opportunity, and those 3 are already your customers. Or you could, if you see somebody who has said something about, oh my gosh, I'm not sure how we're going to have Christmas presents, or something like that. People kind of, going back to what Vonda said, if you listen, you will hear an opportunity to solve some of their problems. And it is said that more people go to bed worrying about where their next paycheck is going to come from than they do about losing 5 pounds. And so we really do have a gift to offer them. So again, offer the opportunity 3 times in a week. And then if you have a team, you want to share your skills with 3 of your team members. That goes back to what Vonda was talking about, that we're here to help. And as soon as you start adding to your team, and we'll talk about this a little bit later too, as soon as you start adding to your team, you are a leader, and you then become the one who you want to motivate them and make sure that they're okay, and share your skills and the things that you're learning by going through these, attending these meetings, going to different sip and sees. You want to coach them through their first one. You're there as a coach and a mentor for your team members. And if you don't have 3 team members, then you can increase your skills by reading some self-help books or some network marketing books, or getting some more of that knowledge and continuing to grow your knowledge in the product, so that you're not wasting your time, but you're making that complete perfect 10 in a week. And the last one is to participate in a Plexus event. And that there are so many resources for this too. There's lots of online opportunity meetings. Those count. There are lots of YouTube videos that are talking about the information and talking about the product. Those also count. But I know that, like Julie and Vonda and myself, we all know this. When you go to a meeting in person, there is something that just is magical about it. It lights you up. It fills your cup. You are with like-minded people. And even if you don't have a potential that attends that meeting with you, going there is important. You get your faith rebuilt, and the relationships that we have in this business are just so amazing. So truly encourage you to do that as well. So Perfect 10 again, sharing 3 Plexus products, or products with 3 people, the opportunity with 3 people, and your skills with 3 people, and then 1 event. And when I think of it like that, I'm like, okay, I can do this. And it works. And so you just want to duplicate that. And those are the things too that you want to teach the people that you bring in, is to be consistent with those types of activities. Those are what we call income producing activities too. You're actually reaching out and you're sharing something that somebody will actually buy. And I know I find myself sometimes getting stuck in Facebook land and being overwhelmed and amazed by all the wonderful stories. And even though I'm saving them for posting, I'm not creating any income that way. So I say that as a reminder to myself, and then also to each of you guys too. It's important for us to post so that people know that we are the Plexus people, but don't get stuck there. Make sure you kind of go outside of that. Set up a schedule for following up with your ambassadors, your customers, and your potentials. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but they say that the fortune is in the follow-up, and it's true. And Vonda had said it too. Even if you get a no, in network marketing, you should not hear that as a hard no. It's a no, not right now. You will hear tons of our jewels talk about how they said no for months and months before they finally said yes. I'm an example of this as well. I took the products for an entire year. I didn't realize that there was a business. I'll say I realized there was a business opportunity. I didn't realize that it was this kind of a business opportunity. So I did nothing for a year. And I was like, no, I'm not going to work it. No, I'm not going to do that. So keep at it and continue working with people and continue to follow up every single month. Set up a system that works for you, where every single person that you have as an ambassador or as a customer, you're following up to make sure that they're okay, that they're learning their products. With ambassadors, you're following up to let them know of new training and are they meeting their goals. And then for customers, you're reminding them of products and introducing them to new products and seeing how they're doing with their existing products. But definitely keep that going. You also want to challenge yourself with goals and write those goals down. There is power in the word being written down or a visual. Last year was the first time that I have done this, and I put together a vision board. And I am amazed and shocked that probably 90% of those goals actually happened in the year, and they were big goals. It included leaving my corporate job, which I didn't think that I was going to do until I had turned Emerald. Well, God has other plans, and I'm out and happier, and it was on that board, and it was a different kind of freedom and one that I would never have dreamt was even possible. So dream audacious, crazy, big, God-sized goals, because that's how it happens. So definitely do that. Also, let failure be the next step. I know so many times we take this personally. If somebody says no, or we fail, or we wish we would have said something different, go back, look at it, use that as a learning opportunity, and go do it again. It's not personal, it's a business, and if you treat it like that, it will happen like that. How many of you guys, and I can't see all your hands, but there's a video that is kind of going wildfire. It's Andrea Mitchell's video on going from gold to emerald between now and June. And she broke it down so perfectly. And for anybody here in Denver, you had the opportunity to hear her. She breaks it down with her daily method of operation. You'll hear this called DMO. And she breaks it out into exactly what you need to be doing every single day. And she had it broken out in 4 15-minute segments. And when you start thinking of it like that, it's like, I can do that. And so I really encourage you guys to look at that as well. Let's see. Do we want to open it up for discussion to see what's working for income production? How about that?
Sure. Let me take you off spotlight. Okay.
Okay.
I will start by saying one of the things that I believe is income producing is nurturing those relationships with the people that you have lost connection with, and thinking of it as in terms of, I don't know what their place in life, I don't know what health issues they have, I haven't talked to them in 10 years, but getting to know them again and nurturing those relationships, you never know where that's going to lead. It could be a customer, an ambassador, their sister is looking for an MLM to join. You never know what's there. And I think sometimes we get stuck in our circles, and remembering that the rest of the world is out there that we need, and relationships are great. You just never know where it's going to go. So go nurture.
Yes.
I agree. For me, I think it's gone in cycles of where Facebook posts have brought people to me some that I totally did not expect to be interested, had not reached out to them. But I think for the most part, it is that personal connection. It's reaching out to someone saying, hey, I noticed you posted about your migraine or whatever it is, and say, I thought of you when I saw this testimonial. So again, you're you're reaching out in a kind of a non-threatening way. Hey, I care about you. Here's this. Take a look at it. I'd love to tell you more if you're interested. So you can do, I think that reaching out in really in a personal way is more effective for me, especially when I'm face to face. So that's why I think, you know, a lot of the successful ambassadors talk about the 3-way calls and the Zoom chats and launches, you know, where it's a face-to-face thing. That is just with the product that we have, it's about health. It's so personal. And so I just think you're going to get some people from posting, yes. But I think for me anyway, that started to fizzle. I'm not getting anything from that now. And not to say it won't happen again. So I'm having to reach out to people. So again, that's my view. I think these products are so personal and you have to care, and you know, so.
I would just say one thing I heard the other day, and it goes back to what Vonda was talking about for asking for referrals. It said on average that people themselves have 456 personal contacts, and that's a lot of people. And so oftentimes you might find somebody who really needs the product and they might really need the business too. And the first thing out of their mouth is, but I don't know anybody. And they do know somebody. They have a neighbor, they have somebody that they're like interacting with somewhere. And so always asking for referrals, again, saying, do you know anybody? And going at them with asking for referrals and not, here's these products I want you to take. It can kind of release that burden of, they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, here comes Kim, that crazy Plexus lady. She's going to try to sell me something. But it's more, I'm just wondering if you might know of anybody who knows of this. And you start tipping into and tapping into those other 456 contacts. So it's not necessarily who you know, but it might be who they know. And so continue along, look at the power of 3 and how it can multiply. And it's not just on your shoulders, but it's on others. And stepping a little outside of your comfort zone can get you to that next person who really needs some help and who might really need the business.
Totally agree. I was going to say one thing, speaking to Vonda's.
I think it's you. Oh.
I do think it's me. I was in response to Vonda's Facebook is fizzling is one of the things that I have been trying to do all week. And I go through cycles of this and I keep forgetting is I need to expand my network on Facebook. So I have been bold and crazy this week. And if I know 3 to 5 people on that list, if we have mutual friends, I definitely make sure they're not other Plexus people. Then I'm friending them. And this week alone, I've had like 5 requests and I just kind of go in bulk, because I'm not always thinking about it, but I was thinking about it this week because I was talking out loud about got to change it up. I got to do something different. And that's just the nature of the beast. You're always kind of creating something new and different. It's marketing, right? So anyhow, just something that you could do. One of the things that we see kind of constantly with our jewels is they're constantly talking about running partners. And your running partner doesn't have to be another jewel, obviously, but your running partner, awesome if it's someone on your team, awesome, awesome, awesome. Like, it'd be great if people join together or they get their mom or sister or best friend or whatever to join them, and then they can run together because they're excited about it together. When one person's kind of like, oh, it's not really working, the other one's like, wait a second, I was with you last weekend, you ate like crap. Like, okay, someone's holding you accountable. Also, when no one wants our product, I'm feeling really down, which, come on, we're human. We go ups and downs through cycles. There's someone there, your friend going, give me a break. Look at, don't let that bother you. The person, you're just having a bad day. Like, leave it alone. So you're just having someone to do that with constantly. Now, I don't have my best friend working the business on my team. I would love to have my best friend on my team. I can't sit around and mope about it because that's not going to produce anything for me whatsoever. I can ask her for referrals. And let me tell you, the more referrals I get from her, the more I'm bugging her. But I can ask for referrals because we're back in. If it's not for you right now, who do you know? But go lateral. If you're on the same team with someone, you see them in a team page and they're active and you're thinking, this is exactly how Vonda and I got together, is her and I seem to be running faster than a lot of people that were on our joint team. And so one day I was, Vonda, I think we should do this. I would love to do this. So her and I started doing stuff together all the time, which has been awesome because we're two completely different personalities, but it works very, very well together. I love it because you wouldn't want me the whole time. So that's another idea. Like the way I met Kim for Running Partners is actually we just kept repeatedly seeing each other at meetings, and it kind of becomes your tribe. And there ended up being, I'd say 6 to 8 women that we saw consistently at every meeting, at anything offered. And we decided, well, why aren't we getting together and doing some trainings and some meetings? And here you go. Creating that momentum on your own. You cannot sit and wait for it. So it's so much nicer if you have a buddy to do it with, or 2 buddies, or 3. It gets too big and no one's getting accountable and you're not focusing. But anyway, the whole point is there is energy in partnership, and you can really leverage that, and you really should. As you're adding people to your team, I would say don't be discouraged, but it's a natural process to be discouraged. As you don't have people working in business like you would hope that they did, or you have people working it, but in a way you haven't actually taught them to duplicate, and you're going, well, that's not exactly what I was hoping you would do. Then you have your people that are running full force, following everything you say. It's fabulous. Everyone's going to be on a different level, and you need to know that, because where you put your energy is really important, because time, I wouldn't say time is money necessarily, but your time is valuable. And I personally have a family, and I can't spend every waking moment with each one of my ambassadors when they're not producing, and they're not wanting to produce, and they're not eager to produce. They're not calling me asking for 3 other ways. They have 3 other IPAs, producing activities that they can do this week. They're not hungry for it. So as much as you want it for them, you can't make it for them. What's important is we call, what's the word I'm looking for? Qualifying your ambassadors, asking their why, setting their goals, their expectations. That's going to give you a real good clue up front whether you're putting your time and effort. Now, I have had people that I thought were signing on for wholesale that have all of a sudden are asking me questions, and like you can feel the energy coming. Put your time and effort into them. If they're willing to ratchet up that ladder, go with it. What you don't want to do is sink your energy out of someone who is sucking yours from you. And it's hard, because when you are low on ambassadors, you want everyone to succeed, and you are putting all of this effort into people who are not performing, they're not interested, and you want it more than they want it. It's a hard lesson to learn, but it's worthwhile for you to then focus on getting 3 new team members, or maybe 5 that month, because 2 or 3 of them aren't really doing what you thought they were going to do. If you waste your time on them, they won't be doing it for the right reasons. So it needs to come organically from them, and hopefully they catch the bug and they run with it. But think about that, and also think about it as team members on each of our teams. If you're wondering why you don't have a closer contact with your ambassador, start looking. Are you doing what has been asked of you? Are you eager to learn? Are you asking for goals to be set? Are you jumping on board every time there's a Zoom call? Think about it, because this is where the energy is. And if you're not willing to, you don't have to be on every call, don't get me wrong. But there's got to be some hungry. Les Brown likes to say, you got to be hungry. We want. You going to say something? Were you going to say something, Vonda?
No, I was just doing Les Brown impersonation.
I missed it.
Gotta be hungry.
Yeah, and he's right. Like, I have seen we've watched people in this business that broke off their butt, and it was all they had to do, and they did it, and they are crazy successful with it. But if you just kind of sit back and think, well, I'm going to piddle around and just see what happens, you're going to get piddle results. So keep that in mind. Just to finish that off, if you, let's just say Vonda style or Kim style or for my team, Taryn style, somebody else on your team tends to be more fitting. I think it's an easy, I mean, I wouldn't mind at all if I was more like someone on Vonda's team and they were like, I kind of want to, chat with Julie about what she does, because she is like, I'm way more outgoing than Vonda is. So if they're trying to ask, how do you talk to strangers? Vonda's like, I don't talk to strangers. So leverage what you have and what you have access to. I mean, it's the smartest thing to do. We're all resources and we all want each other to succeed, because Plexus is so fabulous that way. That any one of us would give you your time, not every week, all the time, but absolutely. You need a testimony, you have a question, shoot with someone a message. Everybody's very generous. So use what you have and go get it. I think I'm turning this over to Kim.
Yeah, you are. I like that. Go get it. I put a Les Brown quote on the front of my planner, and it's, wanting something is not enough. You must hunger for it.
Mm-hmm.
Go get it. So leadership, we wanted to talk to you guys just a little bit about this. And I've heard Richard Chamberlain say this. He has said, I don't know if you guys know him, he has lost over, I think, like 100 pounds or something like that, taking Slim and Block, and has made a great successful business with this. And he is just funny and out of control. He spoke at last year's convention. But he said something that has kind of stuck with me. And he said, when you have one person that is on your team, you can't quit. You now have one person that you're responsible for, and it's up to you to lead them and guide them and encourage them to move forward. And you've become a leader. And that might be a new role for many people who, most of us are used to working for somebody, and we haven't been in that position before. So it can be kind of scary. And so know that it's okay to not be quite sure where you're going or how you do it, and even say that, saying, okay, this is new for me, but I'm here for you, and if I don't know the answer, I'm going to go get it, because we do have resources all the way up, tons of people that can help. As Julie said, going to your cross teams and us as leaders, we encourage that, just because it's, you're finding a way to learn something, and that's great. Act as leaders. And so I don't know about you guys, probably all have your own team pages, but I have a team of 40 people, and I have a team page that I'm sharing with and everything for people. And I might not even get likes or even comments on my own team page. And I'm like, where are you guys? So be involved in those team pages and know that we encourage it and we want it. And it feeds that energy, even in a virtual kind of an environment. Be the leader so that your team members that are part of that team too can see that you are actually walking the walk. You are a leader and you're leading by example. And participate. Asking questions, adding new things. I think that those are all very important for the whole team dynamic, because we can't do it on our own. Not one of us, you guys included, can do this on your own. And it is a team, and that's how we make things happen. That's how momentum happens. That's how the power of 3 works. It doesn't go this way, it goes down, and the power of 3. And it's so important for us all to remember that we're all a part of that puzzle. So be there. I loved, Pat was showing the book up front. There's lots of books and resources that we can use to become leaders and to learn how to do some of this stuff and take us out of our comfort zone with, somebody who's done it before us. And reading that is great. Listening to podcasts are great. There's a couple of really great resources. I just added the one that Pat showed, but John C. Maxwell is a great author. He's a mentor for many of our jewels and is an author of amazing positive books. One that we had to read last year, or that I got the opportunity to read as part of a challenge group, was called Failing Forward. Huge, because it teaches you that failing is part of the growth. The one that Pat just showed is 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. every podcast that I listen to, they talk about growth and self-development and making sure that you are pouring into yourself. It's part of your business, and you need to grow that part for you to continue to grow forward. The other one, Sarah Robbins, Rock Your Networking Business. She is amazing. She's positive. She is puts everything out there in a very nice and easy to follow format. I have that book dog-eared and tagged, and I'm always taking nuggets of information out of hers. And then Richard Bliss Brooks, The 4-Year Career. I don't know if you guys have read it, but the most recent version includes our story of our very own Sarah Marble, who is a Diamond Ambassador. Her husband, she was a nurse. Her husband was an anesthesiologist, and I think he has just retired himself. But she is featured in this book, and he takes people who made the work happen or a business happen with really nice residual income in a 4-year period. And they do it by pouring into others and by not tarnishing the name of network marketing. There are a ton of people out there who do it the bad way and give the whole kind of industry a bad name. And he focuses on people who have done it by pouring into others. And it's such a great thing because it also ties, it makes you realize how amazing this business is that we are in. It is truly a gift. There is not a better way to do this and to quit trading hours for dollars and getting your time freedom back and working this business. And working is, 15 minutes in 4-minute or 4 times a day kind of increment, and you can do that. Not to say that magic happens that way, but, it's definitely a good start. So invest in yourself as a leader so that you can show those people around you how that you've done it and that it can be done. And just with a little bit of work and inspiration, you can take this far. I think back to Julie.
Actually, I wanted to kind of tie that in with the, we talked about how to give yourself a raise. So if you think about how do all these things possibly do that for you? And that's, this isn't all about making money. It's about health. But if you see the vision of the income opportunity, then you know that it is possible. So being a leader, having action things to do with the perfect 10, things like that. That momentum, what you're trying to do is create momentum, and by being that leader, then that all is going to tie into, yes, you're reaching people to get healthier, but that translates into income for you. And most people tend to only see an increase in pay. So I know some of you, Joan, like you're new and you're thinking, I just want to get my products paid, and that's paid for, and that's fine. That's always the first go usually. So don't feel overwhelmed by all of this. And Julie, so if we have time, we wanted to open the discussion, but she's going to go over the elevator speech.
Well, I was going to, but given that we have 12 minutes, part of me wanted to see if people wanted a Q&A, and I don't want to overrun the Q&A, and I don't want people to stay on longer. I'm going to be respectful. So that piece I can move to next week if that's okay with you guys.
Right.
Good? Okay.
Everyone's off mute. Pat, you want to come off mute? Joan's off.
I think Nikki's still on.
Okay.
But it could be because she has 3 children in the car, so I'm not going to bother her. One being almost a 1-year-old, so I'll let her stay muted if she wants. But basically, we're going to open it up and ask questions. And I know, for instance, Pat had a question from me, stumped on one of her customers. I don't know if you had planned to ask that, but that's a suggestion for asking. Just a sec. Yeah, somebody asked a question. Apparently, I'm muted.
No, I unmuted.
Okay, we were talking about books that are really great to help us. Another book that's out there is Steve Harvey's Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success. It is a very good book, and I haven't quite finished it yet, but I caught something this afternoon that kind of caught my eye, and we've been hearing this through everybody, but it says, One of the things that he discovered early on is the more people you help become successful, the more successful you become. When you share your blessings with someone else, you are fulfilling your purpose in this world as a human being. We are all here to help one another. When you receive a measure of success on whatever level it is, it's your obligation to take that or share that with someone else. What I have seen with very successful people is that the more they give, the more God puts them in position to continue to give more. And that's true. And that's kind of like the Plexus logo, so to speak.
Mhm.
But one of the things, like I said, I haven't finished this. This is in chapter 17. I read a little bit and then I go on to do something else. And I come back to read. I can't quite finish a whole book yet. But he's got some really good points in there. And so, if it's another book, Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success. But one of the things that I had happen, I have an ambassador who has some serious health issues, and we got her started on the BioCleanse and the Plexus Slim and the probiotic to help her with her constipation problem that she has. And it is not working for her. She is on a very strong heart medication and a whole bunch of other things. So she's constipated constantly. So she was in a lot of pain this last couple of weeks. And she finally wrote me yesterday and she says, I can't do this anymore. It's hurting. I don't know what else to do. And I don't know what else to do for her.
How long has she been taking the products, Pat?
She came on board in November, so she probably started in December. So she's probably been on them for just a little bit over a month, maybe a month and a half. But she finally had to go get something from the health food store that made her go like almost instantaneously. But she's bloated, she's gassy all the time, she's in so much pain, and I just can't seem to get the right amount of stuff for her to do. So I think we're going to set it aside for the time being. We've changed her dosages up.
She should continue. Yeah,
I know she should continue. But you tell her that.
Yeah. Did you try her on just the BioCleanse before you added ProBio 5?
I don't know how she started.
Okay.
I've been talking to her for probably a good year.
Okay.
For this, and then she finally contacted me, says, I'm ready to try it.
Okay.
And her doctor wants her on it. And, we said, well, follow the instructions on the bottle at first. Do what it says. If that doesn't work, then up each one of them.
Yeah. Oftentimes what I do with somebody who has those kinds of issues is I'll start them on the BioCleanse first. Mm-hmm. And I have them start that out slow too, because that can actually, so no ProBio. Start them out on that, like 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, and tons and tons and tons of water. So do you know how much water she's drinking?
No, I don't, but I know that's just about all she does drink is water.
Yeah, so you need to make sure that her ounces of water are all up there. Like I know that, I only drink water too, and there are days that I don't get enough water. And that has
me too.
It's like, unless you're actually measuring it, and people say, I'm drinking tons of water, have her measure it. And then that the magnesium in the BioCleanse can help the body start moving, like getting the trash going. So she might actually have, well, she does. It sounds like she's definitely got some issues there. And after it starts, that should actually help to start it move. And then the probiotic, I start out with 1 at a time. And then depending on the die-off symptoms and the bloating and the gas, every other day, even if they're really bad. And then you can also put in milk thistle, which actually helps the liver detox additionally, and buffered vitamin C. Additional doses of that will actually help some of that, like the detox and move, like some of the bowels. But water first, and then add in ProBio.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Hopefully we're going to get together one day this week.
Yeah, because that's miserable.
We can talk about it a little bit more, but it's all been by phone. I can't get her.
Yeah.
visit with her,
Yeah.
or through email and stuff. But we'll try one more time.
Yeah.
And see
I
what we
think,
can do.
yeah. And on those, like, I have found, and I've learned this the hard way because, one of my really good friends, she's, the opposite happened where she had the runs, and it was from die-off. And she's like, okay, now I get it. Now I start that out every conversation before I ever have them start in the triplex. I tell them, more than likely you'll feel like crap, and go slow. That's the one thing I've learned is if you start with the dose on the bottle for those things, you can end up with some more, I don't want to call it damage, but some more pain because of that. And if you have any documents, and if you don't have them, I can send you some links on Candida die-off, and people might read that and they're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm going through. And then they know that you're not making it up, that it is something, it's good. And you convince her that there's light at the other end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
By getting
she does have that information, because when she first wanted to know the information, I sent her a lot of stuff so she could read and take to her doctor and see what they wanted her to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll talk to her again this week, hopefully, and we'll see if we can't get her started back on this again. But
yeah,
so much pain and misery all the time. It's just like,
it's terrible. Yeah, medications will do that to you too.
Yeah, it will. All right, thank you.
My sister, who's like, I'm just gonna share. It used to be like 5 times or like 5 days in between going. And now she goes like 5 times a day. That's why I say she should stay on it, even if she has to supplement with, a stronger laxative or something for the times when she is in extreme pain. But if she can keep that going in her system and help build that up and get her body more healthy in the long run, it's definitely going to benefit her. Coming from a constipated past person. Right.
Yeah, I've been there.
Past constipation.
Anybody else have something?
Joan, do you have any questions?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
My one suggestion for Pat, though, is for your customer, if she's going to take the bio cleanses, sometimes if she can take it with 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, because that will help the constipation, and it's natural and it's good for her.
How much?
Just a tablespoon.
Tablespoon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Constipation's my thing. Woohoo! But that's
It was mine too until I had surgery. Now it doesn't want to stay where it should. It runs all the time.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
all right. Now, do you ladies every Tuesday? Is this something you're going to do every Tuesday?
Every other Tuesday.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So what do you think? Do you all want any input on what we do next? Do we want, last time we focused on ease. I think everyone really enjoyed learning more about ease. So we can move on to a next product. Maybe have a guest speaker, a nutritionist. If we could get that
Julie
in.
said that she was about the elevator.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about that next week. But if we fill an hour, we have room for 15, 20 minutes of
Okay.
else.
Julie, can you put it
I love
on?
it if you could start reviewing the products, because I know them, I don't know them.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I really would like to each time, until we run through all of them, have just a little segment on a product. So some of the things I put possible subjects, like we have a lot of new ones, getting back to the basics, how to talk to potentials, that's the elevator speech. Launches, launching your business, letting people know that you're with Plexus, because what was that last thing we heard recently about, and even if you aren't asking someone, hey, buy something from me, you can say, if you ever want to try Plexus, think of me when you're ready, so that takes that pressure off. So there's different ways to talk, open that up to other people. The product knowledge. So yeah, so you do want to focus on a product every week? Can you put us on gallery view,
Who?
Julie?
Wait, I have you on gallery view. You're just on spotlight. I can.
Oh, okay.
All right, now you're off. So whoever's talking should show up on the screen.
Okay. Well,
I don't have anything. I'm looking. So Kim and I are part of a group that's doing like a new ambassador training on Sunday for some of the newbies that haven't really had much training, and I think we're gonna have a lot of really. Oh, Brenda, a lot of really good nuggets to bring to these meetings afterwards. I don't know why my door keeps opening. Someone else.
That's Aaliyah. Hi, Aaliyah.
okay. I'm going to put on my team page the link to Andrea Mitchell's, and we can all do that. Put that, the video that we referenced, the Andrea Mitchell on, what was it, the 15 minutes, 4 times a day type of thing. I really like that. So I'll put that on my team page, and I think there might even be a video on College Beach. So we should give that as homework,
Yeah.
for our teams. Find a good video on the elevator speech. And our success kit has really good stuff in it too on that.
Yeah, I think that's good, and then really good.
Yeah. Okay.
So 2 weeks from now, same time, same place.
Well, thank
I don't
you.
care where you are. I'll probably be here.
Thanks, ladies.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.